Hi everyone, Katie Sutton here, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy, ready to share your August 2021 update. We have 4 really important energetic themes this month. The first is this idea of conscious collaboration. The second is a release of prove it and competition energy. The third is big visions manifesting. And the fourth is growing through bliss. So stay tuned for the rest of the energy update. Hey everybody, I hope you're doing really well. We have a crazy exciting month ahead of us. I can't really express that enough. August is big. It's big every year because we always have a build up to these very intense 8/8 Lionsgate portal energies at the beginning of the month, and then generally there's a lot to unpack afterwards. And this month, this August, is no different. And, you know, if you're not familiar with what Lionsgate is, it's a very significant astrological portal that opens up where we have some alignment with Sirius, which is our spiritual sun, and the Earth, as well as an alignment with the constellation Orion and the pyramids of Giza. And for me personally, this is a huge opening of visioning, higher timelines, connecting with my guides and my star family. It opens up so many doorways for us this time. And it's really interesting, the energy that we have leading into this portal and then beyond in August. And we had 4 themes come in this month that are pretty loud that I want to talk you through. So the first is this idea of conscious collaboration. And I'm noticing this in my life. There are all of these projects that I've been visioning and thinking about for a really long time that are starting to happen all at once. And that sounds like a really beautiful and wonderful thing, but man, is it triggering the hell out of me. We have gotten used to the last year and a half being kind of this slower time period and this very inward time period, and here we are being asked to start collaborating with people again. And while that's exciting and there's a lot of energy and a lot of fire behind that, there also can be a lot of fire behind that, meaning that there can be anger and frustration and triggers and things that come up. And so it's really, really important that we're collaborating as consciously as possible right now. And what does that really mean? Okay, so conscious collaboration is being able to be in our autonomy as individuals and speak our truth and be in our uniqueness and be in our creative genius and use our voices to express that while not having any expectation of how that is received by those around us. That's hard. Okay, all of us have pride of ownership around things. We have things that we create that we want people to love. And sometimes in collaboration, it's about the give and the take, right? It's about seeing where our zone of genius is and how can we call in people who have synergistic energies and zones of genius that can support our project in coming to fruition. And I'm really excited to see this collaboration energy coming up because there were 2 main themes of autonomy and community, and that balance between the 2 that was the focus of 2021. And the first half of 2021 was all about the autonomy. How can we figure out who we are? How can we go deep? How can we heal our wounds? How can we get out of projection and out of the ego and into our truth? And now we're being asked to take that out into the world and see what happens when we bring that out into the world, see what shifts for us as we bring that out into the world. And so conscious collaboration and synergy is very, very important this month, and you're probably feeling it. There's people coming to you, there's people you need to engage with that you haven't talked to in a long time. There's a lot of movement, a lot of things coming to fruition. And that's kind of triggering the second theme. I'm noticing with my clients, and myself included, that there's a lot of prove it energy up right now. And we're being asked to release that prove it energy. And so let me give you a really good example or understanding of what this is. So prove it energy kind of comes from the ego layer. It comes from our wounds. You could call it competition energy. You could call it comparison energy. But it's really this idea that, you know, somebody thinks this of me and I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make them believe in me. I'm going to prove it to them that I am of value, that I am worthy. Well, really all we're doing in that is trying to combat the little voice in our head that says that we're not worthy. And so if we start to release this prove it energy, which is one of the things that we're being asked to do this month, it really requires us to get down and dirty and connected with our own inner critic and start to have beautiful healing conversations with our inner critic and bring that part of ourselves forward that we've been in resistance to and love it unconditionally. And when we do that, as long as we believe in ourselves, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter that we feel in the past that we needed to prove it. We can let go of that. And so a lot of us are carrying wounds from our parents, from society, from teachers, from all these different places where somebody said we couldn't do something and we're like, oh my God, I'm going to prove that person wrong. So this is the month to pay attention to where you are looking outside of yourself and trying to do something for someone else to make them see you, and maybe just stop. What would it feel like to pull back in those relationships and go inward just enough to release that prove it and that competition energy? They're the only person that you really should be in competition with, and I even hate to use that word, is yourself, right? And it's not a competition. This is just you doing the best you can in every moment with the tools that you have. And we're not going to be perfect at it. This is about us stepping into our vulnerability in these conscious collaborations in these relationships. So pay attention to how this prove it and competition energy is coming up for you, and try to take a pause when you notice it. Oh, I wonder why it's so important for this person to see me in this way. Why do I feel like I need their approval? And likely that's an inner wound that you've been carrying for a long time that's ready to be healed, that's calling out to be healed. If you can notice that and be in awareness of that this month, you're going to go far in your visions. And that takes me to the third theme that I want to talk about, which is this idea of big visions manifesting. So we have had quite a build up to this. I know for me personally, it almost feels like the bow and arrow has been pulled back and now it's been released and things are speeding up really fast. And for those of you that are like me, that are really empathic, you're feeling this speeded up fire energy, right? And it's getting our nervous systems a little bit jangled. And so when these big visions are starting to manifest, these things that you've been dreaming of for a really long time are starting to come in. The challenge that we have this month in that manifestation is to stay in presence, right? To not get so caught up in the activity or the doing that we miss out on this beautiful celebration energy that our guides are asking us to tap into, of like just paying attention to how long we have worked for something and now it's starting to come into manifestation. It's starting to come into reality. So these big visions, as they're manifesting, that sounds so wonderful, right? Like, this is great news. This is great news that things that you've been working on for a really long time are coming in. But a lot of us are missing the celebration of that. We're getting caught up in the doing, and we're not taking just the quick pause to drop in and say, God, like, I have worked so hard on this and I didn't even know how it was going to manifest, but look at the universe supporting me on this path forward. And I was thinking about this theme this morning, and my guides gave me this image of like this golden runway being created for us right now. And it's this beautiful path where we can walk along this path, this center road, and start to bring things into fruition through so much ease and joy. But if we get caught up in our old stories of I have to do it perfectly, or I have to prove it to this person, or I have to compete with this person, or it needs to be bigger, or if we get caught up in all of that stuff, we're missing out on the magic. This is a very magical month, okay? Don't get so caught up in all of the doing and all of the activity and all these great things that are happening that you miss out on the magic. Pay attention to the magic. This is where I'm going to invite you, when these big visions are starting to manifest, to like keep pinching yourself, right? Not in a way that says, oh my God, am I worthy of this? Is something bad going to happen? But oh my goodness, look at the work that I put in that is allowing this to manifest. I am creating this in co-creation with the universe, and I deserve it. I am worthy, right? Those are the things that I want you to keep saying to yourself, because it's really easy to go back into that unworthiness place and make it smaller or downplay it or pretend like it's not happening. We're so conditioned to not be proud of things in this lifetime. We're so conditioned that we need to, not overshadow anyone else, but it's time for us to own our bigness. This is Leo season, by the way, right? Like Leo season is here. It's all about courageous action and taking up space and being seen. So really drop into that this month. It's a really beautiful energy that's coming in. And the fourth theme, which is going to be our topic for our healing circle this month, I'm so excited about. It's called Growing Through Bliss. And I started to get a preview of this when I hosted a retreat a couple of weeks ago, where I was in the front of the room. Everybody was milling about. There was only a couple of people that saw this happening, but I had what I would call a bliss body awakening in that room right before I started teaching class. And I could feel the deep connection and glowing effervescence of spirit moving through all of the cells in my body. I could feel the oneness. I could feel the connection. I could feel the bliss. This is starting to be activated for more and more of us, but we can only receive that if we slow down. We can only receive that if we, when these big visions are manifesting, if we take that time to be in presence and feel that connection, right? So this cultivation of growing through bliss rather than through struggle or through effort or through competition or prove it energy or whatever is something that we're being asked to cultivate this month, because it's wanting to expand for us. And I can feel this in my heart chakra as I'm speaking about it. So many of us have this great disappointment energy in our heart space, this sadness, this loneliness in our heart space that says, I am not worthy of growing through joy. I'm not worthy of, growing through bliss. That seems so far out. And so if you're hearing me say this and you're like, yeah, that's not for me, that's not going to happen, I challenge you. I challenge you to find bliss this month. And by the way, I had a massage last month and I was in bliss in that massage because I just sat in gratitude of how nice it is to be in my body, to receive touch, right? To receive healing. And it was the best massage I ever had. And I don't even know if the practitioner knows how wonderful my experience was, because it was so inward for me. But we have opportunities to anchor into this in every moment. And I know you all probably have people in your life or people that you've met that walk through the world in this way. They luxuriate in the small things. And so this idea of growing through bliss isn't just the big bliss, huge, monumental experiences that we want to write books about. It's the little things too. It's those moments in between where we can be in bliss, where we can be so in joy and presence that we just can't believe that this gets to be our life. And there's a part of us that has trouble holding that frequency because there's a fear that if we lock into it, that we're going to lose it or we're going to be disappointed or something hard is going to happen. And just know that that might be true. And so why not in that moment be more present in it? Be more in that bliss moment. Yogis call this samadhi, right? It's this idea that all of a sudden we can wake up to the trueness of the world. And I think that's wonderful. And I think if you've gotten to have those experiences like I have, those become foundational elements of who you are and baselines for you to come back to. But it's also really easy to try to seek this every day in a not so great way, right? There's a lot of things on this planet that make us want to seek out bliss, and maybe we do it in a way that's trying to amplify and activate it faster than we're ready for. And so when I talk about growing through bliss, this is that small cultivation of that in those little moments so that builds to these bigger and bigger experiences. And so we start to look at our life as compilations of blissful moments, some big and some small. So this is an invitation this month. There's so much light coming in that creates some purging for us, right? So when I say growing through bliss, there may also be some purging, but we can be blissful in that too. We can be blissful in, oh my goodness, look at this grief that I didn't even know was there that has come up to be released. Let me love on it. Let me bring it forward. Let me see what nuggets of wisdom are within this. And then, you know, it's like that moment when you have a really good cry and your heart just expands open and then you just feel so much better. That's growing through bliss, right? Now, would you have classified it as that? Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you experience it. So I hope that that resonates with you. I hope you can capture some of that this month. I see an image as I'm speaking of that of my guides, like capturing stardust and bringing it down for all of you. So these portal energies that we're in are strong and powerful. Take time, drop in, be present, use them. Vision, manifest, create, release that prove it energy, release any blockers to collaboration with the people around you. And this will be an exciting month for you. All right, we'll have our healing circle on August 11th from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused on growing through bliss. We're going to create those pathways. I see us creating energetic and neural pathways for bliss here through that healing circle. So I'll put some information about that below. I'm also hosting a special channeled Lionsgate portal activation that is going to take place on August 7th, which is this coming Saturday. And it's in person in Lancaster, South Carolina, but we also are going to be offering it over Zoom. If you're interested, I'll put a link to that event in the notes as well. So I hope you guys have a great month. Take time, don't burn out, lots of fire energy, need to relax those nervous systems, need to stay cool on all levels. So really drop in. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next month.